What's going on, everybody? This is Unfiltered Wrestling, and let's talk about Friday Night Smackdown, first day of the draft. And the thing I gotta talk about most is, of course, the draft, because the matches, besides the main event, they really didn't matter much. Like, that just wasn't what the show was about. There was only like a handful of them, and who really cared? So I'll talk about the matches in a second. Let's get into the draft. And it kind of went according to the way you could kind of expect. SmackDown got the bigger names, like worldwide bigger names. You know, like, they got Roman, they got Bray Wyatt, which that one kind of surprised me because I'm assuming Seth, as the Universal Champion, is going to be on Raw. And they're clearly continuing their feud. So that was kind of strange, but that's still big for ratings for SmackDown. Like, Bray Wyatt, everyone still loves the Fiend character, even though they tried to ruin it at Hell in a Cell. But let's not talk about that. Sasha Banks, Braun Strowman, that's another kind of a big name for them to have. You know, big, strong, muscle-bound guy. Because that gives them matchups with Braun versus Brock, who's probably going to be on SmackDown. Braun versus Roman. We've seen it a bunch, but it's been a while. It's a nice little combo of big men. Lacey Evans, depth for the women's division. Revival, which, come on, again, I don't understand why, if you're the champion, like the SmackDown Tag Champions, the Raw Tag Champions, the Women's Champion, the Women's Raw Champion, the Women's SmackDown Champion, why the hell are you part of this draft? That makes no sense. Like, champions to me, I guess the mid-cards could be a part of the draft. Like, US champ and the IC champ could be part of the draft. That's fine, because those can flip-flop brands. But let's be serious. The Universal Champion's not going to go to SmackDown. That wouldn't make any damn sense. Well, you could change the color to blue. I mean, I guess you could, but that would just be cheesy. Let's leave it alone. Those belts should stay where they are. And especially the ones that are actually named Raw and SmackDown titles. The women and tags. So what? Becky's going to get drafted by SmackDown. And she's going to be the Raw Women's Champion on SmackDown. No, that would be stupid. So come on. Just don't do that. But that to me is my biggest complaint of the draft. It's just because I didn't think the champions need to be involved. It doesn't make any sense. But besides that, I like the presentation. I did. They did make it, or give it a sports, Fox, ESPN vibe to it. I liked it. You know, some of the acting by some of the people was a little cheesy, but I don't care. That's fine. That's fine. I appreciate the effort. And they would show like the Fox Network War Room. It's a tough word to say. And the USA Network War Room. Like after a pick, and they'd be like, yeah, like all celebrating like they do during the actual NFL and NBA drafts. Again, looked kind of cheesy sometimes. Some of them, if you actually looked around at everybody, you can see some people like really being quite cornballish. But again, I appreciate the effort. I love the idea. I like the vibe of it. So hopefully, if they do a draft every year, keep it looking like this. The format was nice. Stephanie was fine doing the actual announcing of the draft. She did a good job. It didn't feel like it was about her at all, which sometimes that can be a problem for the McMahons. But yeah, Raw got Becky Lynch, who was the first overall pick, by the way. All right. Yep, second overall pick was Roman. And that makes sense. WWE 2K is coming out very soon. They're the cover athletes, superstars, whatever they're calling them now. I'm not even sure anymore. Like, a lot's kind of flipping around. Then they drafted the OC, AJ Styles, and I'm glad they kept Styles with the club, but they had a match later, so I won't even talk about it later. Fuck that. They had a match later where they faced the New Day, and they just lost. AJ just got pinned by Kofi Kingston, and it's like, what are we doing? When we put the OC back together, I thought that was for a reason. I thought they were going to get a push. No. AJ didn't bring the club up to his level. They kind of just brought him down to theirs, which is to lose a lot. Whatever. Drew McIntyre, where's he been? I think he might be banged up. But yep, that's a good pick. He's clearly a Raw style guy. Randy Orton, obvious Raw guy. Ricochet, obvious Raw guy. See how it's professional wrestlers. You know, I mean, Randy Orton can be a star, but sooner than later, he's going to be kind of a part-timer. So, keep him on Raw. Bobby Lashley, that one did surprise me a little bit, because he does have an MMA background. Thought they'd want that on SmackDown with Fox. And also, Bobby Lashley's been fucking begging to get a match with Brock Lesnar even before he signed. That's the biggest reason he signed in WWE, so he could someday fight Brock. Brock looks like he's going to be on SmackDown. We'll find out for sure Monday, but that's what it looks like. So, I thought that was kind of odd to then, I mean, I won't say odd, I'll say kind of screwed up to do to Bobby that, it's like, no man, you're just never going to face him. Damn it. And then we got Alexa Bliss. Cool, that's also a Raw style. These are like WWE wrestling types of people. Kevin Owens, thank God they got Kevin Owens. I thought he got picked hella late though. Like really? Like if you look at this list, the way Kevin Owens usually wins matches, which is often, he's usually higher on the cards. Sometimes he finishes or begins shows. And a former Universal Champion, all that. Crowd favorite. He can be the biggest heel or the biggest face. It was very strange that he went late. Like you're telling me you're picking Drew McIntyre before Kevin Owens. What's Drew McIntyre done? That doesn't make sense. Randy Orton, that makes sense. 13-time world champion. Ricochet, that doesn't make sense. Bobby Lashley, that doesn't make sense. Alexa Bliss, you could argue that makes sense. She's like a 4 or 5-time women's champion, former tag women's champ. She can hold down the women's division if you need her to. So, you could make that argument. And then Natalya, who cares? The Viking Raiders, glad they got drafted, I guess. I mean, that's nice. Hopefully they actually start getting in feuds and doing things. Nikki Cross kind of pissed me off because that means she's probably going to still be with Alexa Bliss. I don't want to see that. I was hoping they would split them up. And then last pick was the Street Profits, which, yeah, they make sense for Raw. They're very sports entertainment style instead of Fox just sports combat style. And that was the draft. I liked it. And I guess I'm going to go just take a quick rant about the damn matches real quick. Alright, let's talk about these matches. And again, there weren't many, and there damn sure weren't many that actually mattered. I already talked about New Day beating the OC, which I'm just tired of seeing AJ Styles get pinned for no reason. So why'd you put them back together just to do that? And the first match, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, was to determine the number 1 pick in the draft. Rollins representing Raw, and Roman representing SmackDown. And it did not get a finish. It was a very kooky ending, which WWE's just been doing lately. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, shows up at the end of the match, comes out Kane style through the ring, and does the mandible claw to Seth, and then drags his ass through the hole in the ring. And just like vintage Kane or Undertaker, smoke comes up through the hole in the ring, as if he kind of like drug him to hell, that type of thing. But then Rollins just pops the hell back out. What? I don't know. And then Bray then pokes his head up like a crocodile through the hole. The shrieking continues, and then he just sinks back under, and the match is over. And they say a DQ. Which, yeah, you're damn right it's a DQ. So at least you got attacked. But just keep him under the hole. Rollins wasn't doing shit the rest of the show. Like, what are we doing? He didn't even get drafted. Just keep him under the ring. Why have him pop back out? just to make it look like he got away. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just right now. The Fiend to me needs to look as strong as humanly possible. Let's stop bitching him out, please, please. And the only other thing that really mattered match-wise was the main event: Bayley versus Charlotte in a rematch for the SmackDown Women's title. And Bayley came out with a hoodie on, which I knew was kind of odd. Same music, inflatable tube men, but then she took the hoodie off. Her hair was cut shorter, and she then grabbed like some hatchet type of thing, sharp object, you know, on an axe stick, and chopped down the damn inflatable Bayley buddies. Took her a minute, but she did chop them down. It's a great visual. I'm glad that showed she's finally full-blown heel. Before it was like a tweener. Like it was hard to fucking tell. Match happened. It was an okay match. Nothing special. It was okay. And Bayley won the title back, which is, I guess, good in terms of you hate when someone just turns heel to lose immediately. That completely kills the character right off the gate, right out of the gate. But at the same time, it's like, damn, you just had Charlotte win it. Did you do that just cause? Just so you can have her number go to 10? So eventually she'll catch or surpass 16? I don't know. I thought that was kind of odd. But at least Bayley didn't lose the day she turned heel, so I'm okay with it. And Charlotte, she had like a nosebleed or something. She was bleeding. It was kind of a good bit, kind of smeared all around. And I don't know if she was like kind of dazed, like maybe she got popped in the head, because she was either dazed and slightly concussed, or she did a great job selling. Because yeah, she looked like her eyes were kind of like looking past everybody, like, you know what I mean? She had that wide-eyed what they call the 100-yard stare, kind of like Luke Harper when Luke Harper's normal and fine. That's how Charlotte looked. You're not supposed to look like that unless you're Luke Harper. And that was it. After the match, Bayley said, I think they kind of fucked up they came back to Bayley. My bad, I got like a cough, but they cut back to Bayley, and all we heard was bitches. Like, they fucked up the cutback. You know what I mean? They messed that up. All we heard was some bitches, and that was it. And the crowd reacted to it like it was a big thing, so I don't know. And then she just said, screw all of you, talking to the crowd, threw the mic, and left, and that was it. So yeah, if there's anyone questioning if she's a heel or not, she's definitely a heel now. So that's good. That's good. And the draft presentation, they finally, for the first time in their history, got the draft looking the way it's supposed to look. Like a goddamn draft. So, I like that. And so far, there's no real egregious people going certain directions. Except for Bray. It was kind of weird going to SmackDown since Seth is on Raw. That was kind of strange. Again, we don't know if Seth's on Raw. Maybe the Universal title goes to SmackDown. I don't know why they would do that. And it's red. And then you have Brock Lesnar going back to Raw on USA Network, which is a lesser show. Now it is. Now it's the lesser show. Definitely ratings-wise. It just wouldn't make a ton of sense. You know what I mean? So it's odd that Bray and Seth are clearly continuing their feud, yet it appears, by context clues, I guess, that they'll be on separate brands. I don't know. Not sure. Maybe they'll have one blow-off match, even they're on separate brands. Maybe the Fiend can't be contained to a brand. I don't know. Maybe Bray Wyatt isn't. Maybe the Fiend's going to get drafted. Maybe they're considering them two separate people. I hope not. That would just be ridiculous. But maybe. I do not know yet. We'll find out Monday. I will just say I'm excited because I really enjoyed. They finally did a draft the way it should be done. All right, everybody. SmackDown, it wasn't a great show because not a hell of a lot happened, but it was just here for the draft. That was good enough for me. As long as you got the draft right, I was good. Same with Raw. I don't care if nothing else happens. Just please, let's get the rosters correct. I'm heading out. Appreciate it. This was WrestleRant. And I'll see you Monday, or I'll see you Tuesday. I'll probably see you Tuesday.